Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Twists, a podcast where we like to talk about Round the Twist, an 80s, 90s television show from Australia. My name is Joe Lewis, and I'm joined here today by my co-host, Anthony Bull.
Oh, hey Joe, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you today?
I am okay.
Why only okay?
I don't know, just swell okayness.
Is it because your family pulled a large crate of obscure clothing from the ocean, and now you're feeling possessed?
Yes, that is exactly it. My family found a crate of large clothes, and now I'm possessed by something. I think I'm possessed by Steve Martin.
The spirit of Steve Martin?
No, I don't think he's dead. I think he's just possessing me from, like, America or something.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it's really weird. I get these weird thoughts every so often about, killing people, and I attribute that to Steve Martin.
Yeah, that's probably not a good thing.
No.
The reason we're talking about possession is that today we're talking about the 10th episode of Round the Twist of the first season, called Know All.
Yes.
It's an episode where the Twists pull a crate of, I guess, clothing? Circus clothing?
Clown paraphernalia?
Circus paraphernalia.
Yeah.
From the ocean and become possessed.
And they decide, when they see this stuff, the best thing to do is to wear it and not, I don't know, what would you do?
I don't know what I would do.
I would probably, I imagine it would be completely wet and, because it's in the ocean, it's not a
Yes.
tight container, so I'd let it dry out first, but they just put it on, they don't even care.
They're not worried about pneumonia?
Well, they're not worried about, who the hell knows what's in there. I mean,
crabs.
It could be a thriving ecosystem for, crabs or
Coral.
Or, I don't know, even just mites, some fish mites.
Sea mites.
Sea mites or whatever, and then you're bitten and then you go swimming again and, I don't know. Who knows, right?
All this and more in today's episode of Tales from the Twists.
Yes.
So we start off at the beginning of the episode. We have our intro titles.
Yes.
The Round the Twist theme song. And we get a teaser each week. A teaser of what's to come in the episode with the title of that particular episode. So this week we have Know All. It's kind of a little bit hard to say because you go to lean into Know It All.
Yeah, it's true. Usually it would be Know It All, but it's Know All.
It's Know All.
Well, it should be Know It All anyway, right?
Well,
I mean...
No, it's not Know It All because I don't know.
I say it as Noel. It sort of bunches together and it comes off sounding more like Noel than it does Know All.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this teaser, we've got a clown in the middle of what appears to be a big top.
Yeah.
Laughing with some very, very creepy clown laughing, just standing in the middle of the big top. And then we get the lettering of Know All over the top of that.
Yep. And then he pulls down his hat.
Yep.
To reveal he's got a guinea pig under his hat. What the fuck was that all about?
Then the episode starts.
Yeah. Am I supposed to be laughing at that? Or am I supposed to be creeped out? I don't understand. I don't get it.
What is the significance of the guinea pig?
I don't know. Some sort of thing. What do you think it is?
I don't know. You mentioned that you could get sea mites from clothing that has been in the ocean. Is there a large family of guinea pigs living under the ocean, much like sea monkeys? Is there sea guinea pigs just traipsing about under the ocean and have somehow attached themselves to this clown clothing?
Well, it has to, right? It has
Yes.
to. Where else did they get the guinea pig from? And why a guinea pig? Is it because they couldn't get a rabbit? Rabbits are illegal in Australia, or except for in Victoria, where...
You can have them.
I don't know if you can.
I had a pet rabbit when I lived in New South Wales.
You can't have them in Queensland, I know that.
Yeah, that's just crazy talk.
You crazy talk, can't have them up here. Well, I don't know why it's a guinea pig. I guess they just needed something they could use that would be okay.
Yes.
But still, why has he got it? Why has he got it under his hat? He's not a magician.
No, he's a clown.
He's a clown, so why has he got a guinea pig under his hat? It just sits there being a guinea pig. That's funny? What the fuck?
Maybe he's a clown magician.
Maybe he's just fucked in the head. I don't know. Maybe he's got some fucking issues. And, he has a guinea pig there. It's like his conscience. It's like a Geppetto, except instead of it being like a cricket, it's a fucking guinea pig.
Conscience. Although none of that matters because we only ever see this guinea pig once again throughout this entire episode. Mm-hmm. So moving on from the teaser, we'll launch into the actual episode, which starts with the family. The Twist family. So we've got Tony the dad, Linda and Pete the twins, and Bron the youngest, the youngest of the family. And they're all hanging out together in the bottom of their lighthouse, the place where they live.
Yes.
Linda is cooking a chocolate cake, and she's worried that the mixture, it was supposed to make 2, and apparently she's only got enough mixture to now make 1. And the camera pans around, and we see Bronson eating all the mixture.
Huh.
Classic Bronson.
Classic Bronson.
He's either eating or farting, this boy.
Yep. And doing nothing to help out his family. Just
At any point.
at any point in the entire show, he'll never help out his family.
Has he ever contributed to a twist crisis?
Thus far, no, he hasn't. He's only made it worse.
Yeah.
Or just commented on, how something is bad.
Yes.
But he's never really helped.
I can think of no point where anything he's done has had any actual relevance to the episode.
Nothing. Except for that dragon and...
Oh, yeah, the dragon episode.
But he didn't really do anything. He sort of went in there and got hit on the head with a giant poof.
Yep. Carried the poof to a
Carried
hospital.
the poof to a hospital. We're talking about the foot kind, not the other...
The other kind.
And then it started eating Matron or something. It bit Matron's arm when it hatched. So that's how Bronson helped. He helped by carrying a live dragon, into a hospital and letting it attack a unarmed woman.
But even so, that didn't actually do anything for the episode.
He just made them laugh, I think.
Yeah.
With a really sadistic humour.
If you want to know more about Bronson's adventures with the dragon, you can check out the second episode of Around the Twist and the second episode of our podcast.
Yes. Go check it out. It's a winner.
Tony is sculpting, and this is the first sculpture that he's made.
Terrible.
That isn't. I was like, this is really good. What we have here, a female mannequin, and it's wearing makeup, and it's also wearing a dress made of house products.
Yeah.
And I believe that she was also making something. Mm-hmm. But the sculpture kind of changes as they move it around throughout the episode, and it loses parts.
And the sculpture's called...
It's called Change of Chores. So the idea is it goes from the chores of the past, like a 1950s housewife cooking and cleaning, to the chores of making themselves beautiful, right? Was that the point?
I think something along those lines,
The chore of going to the effort to put on makeup to be an attractive person.
As far as I'm concerned, that's not terrible. So it's alright. Like, I could see that going in Goma.
Yeah.
You know? I could see that probably in Goma.
Yeah, I thought,
This is awful.
This is good.
I guess, it's not bloody painting with bloody baked beans and celery, but it's still pretty good.
I tell you what, I've seen art students at my university that I used to go to, and some of the stuff they were doing there is much more out there than this. So I think Tony Twist is doing alright.
Yeah.
But I really liked this one.
I did too. I wouldn't have
Good
it in my
job,
house,
Tony.
but I would definitely, if I saw it in a museum, I'd comment on it and, give some sort of, summary as if I knew what I was talking about. Be like, oh yes, that clearly represents such and such. Oh, what a great artist. Oh.
Linda calls it sexist.
Yeah.
She gives it the sexist tag.
Yeah.
And then Tony replies with, oh no, it's actually about, like, it's a comment on, well, I can't remember the term he used, but basically he was saying it's a comment on modern femininity. Femininity? Is that how you say it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, like, it was...
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Reason.
Yeah, that's a valid point. It's like their chores have changed, even though they've become emancipated.
Yeah.
Their chores are still... There's still changed to the chores of looking good now. That's replacing a lot of their chores, and it's not about being free. I'm like, well, that's an interesting...
Yeah, it's actually a fairly heavy point that Tony's trying to make here with this sculpture. And we'll get into this more, because I think you could delve basically as far as you wanted into this episode. I think that you could draw a lot of things.
You could draw a lot of things in this episode. Which
we'll get into a bit later, but specifically following this sculpture. Mm-hmm. Because Tony's art, although it's had impact on the episodes in the past, this one has fairly significant plot impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does, actually. It actually matters. So I guess it had to be good.
Which in turn creates fairly significant thematic impact.
Sure. Whatever you say, man.
The music starts playing. The creepy music that we hear throughout the episode. And the family run upstairs.
Throughout the season, you mean?
Yeah, throughout the season, occasionally in the episode, once an episode usually, we hear the creepy music. The family run upstairs.
And Nell's not around, by the way, just so you know. Keeping our Nell counter there.
Yeah, Nell is not present. They run upstairs to see if they can catch the culprits. Who's playing this spooky music at the top of the lighthouse? They've constructed a trap in between episodes. So outside the door, they pull a string and open the door really quickly. And a blanket falls from the ceiling, and they've caught something. And Pete says, the instruments are moving around. They're alive. And then they pull off the blanket, and there's nothing there. And the instruments that were making the music are lying on the tables, covered in dust.
Yeah. And it's something like, the instruments are alive, and then Pete says, or dead. And then Bronson's like, oh, they always play music when something creepy is about to happen.
This is a link that I was unable to make. Apparently,
Yeah.
the music is supposed to signify that something paranormal is about to happen in one of these episodes.
Oh, okay.
So whenever we
I didn't really picture that either.
get the ghost music, that will trigger an event.
Yeah.
I think... What?
I'm just looking at my cat, sorry. He's just fucking going crazy right now. He's attacking this scratching post. Hang on. Let me deal with this. Go on.
The music is supposed to be linked to the paranormal activity, right?
Yeah, it is.
How does this link occur? We find out later, spoilers, for those of you that haven't seen Around the Twist before, Nell's relatives are playing the music.
Yeah.
And I can't remember why. We'll get into that in a couple of episodes when we actually see them. But they've been playing this music. Are they trying to warn the Twist that something spooky is about to happen? Or are they just allowed out of their paranormal cage because of the paranormal energy that's been unleashed by something else in the area?
Well, okay, so let's run on the assumption that Nell is not in a coma.
Okay.
Okay. I'm assuming, they're supposed to be watching over them and say, hey, there's some scary stuff.
Yeah.
I do like your other theory, though. Do like your idea that, like, when paranormal stuff happens, they can then interact with the world. So, like, they've always been playing the instruments, and they're like, oh, we can finally do it again. But, I don't know, it seems like they would do a lot more, you know? It seems like they would do a lot more if they were just... If they're trying to notify people of, like, a problem, maybe you'd think they'd do more than just play instruments. Maybe you would knock stuff around in the house to... Something other than just, hey, we'll play music and scary thing will happen.
Let's talk about ghost physics and Around the Twist for a minute. I don't want to get too much into this because I kind of want to do an episode after we've finished the first season where we break down the mechanics of the paranormal behaviors.
Yeah.
But throughout Around the Twist, whenever we encounter a ghost, not anything generally paranormal like the dragon or fantastical or whatever, but when we get specifically a ghost, there's usually rules around that. So the ghost is trapped somehow, and they're trying to get free, and there's usually rules implied, not often explicit, though sometimes explicit, about how they can interact and how they can communicate.
Yeah.
If we go back to the first episode, Skeleton on the Dunny, where we actually had a ghost on the Dunny, Ned couldn't specifically speak to them using words.
He
couldn't speak to the children.
He could mime.
But he could move things around, and he could appear in a ghostly form.
Yeah.
Okay? He could also manipulate lightning.
Yeah.
I think. It's kind of implied that he could manipulate the storm,
It is
right?
implied that he manipulates lightning.
If we look at the music ghosts, maybe these ghosts, their only form of communication is limited to the music.
Yeah.
And maybe, up until this point, or a point further on, they can't be seen either. Mm-hmm. So whenever a human enters the room, they have to disappear. So they're confined to this one room of the lighthouse where they can only make music because of either A, something that happened to them when they were alive that created the specific rules of their ghostly imprisonment.
Yes.
Or B, the fact that something has happened to them after the point of dying that would limit their ghostly or supernatural powers.
Yes. One of the others.
Okay?
Or,
yes,
alternatively, the music is played to try to wake Nell from her coma, right? Now remember that the twists are basically manifestations of Nell's subconscious, right? That's why she's never there in the scene. She never hears it, but the twists always do. And what if it's the music that's driving the spooky stuff? What if it's signifying that spookiness is about to occur? What if the music causes in her own mind to think paranormal, spooky, scary stuff is about to occur? So it's a trigger, not a signal.
So I was looking at it from, this is a real, in air quotes, a real situation where there's ghosts in it, and you're jumping to the theory of this world that we're seeing around the twist only exists within the mind of Nell as she's in a coma, and this is all a projection of things that have happened to her or are happening to her.
Yeah.
And her living it through in her mind as she's asleep, struggling with whether she wants to wake up or not.
And if she could hear the music, of course, she could come out, potentially. But she can't hear the music. The only people who can hear the music seem to be the twists. So the twists take that as a paranormal trigger. If something's going to happen, so she automatically will think, it's scary stuff, blah, blah, blah. But if she could end up hearing the music, she would learn that it's her relatives that are doing that, know that she's in a coma, blah, bada bing, bada boom, she's free.
So
her friends or family are actually doing more harm to her than good.
Yes.
Keeping her in that world.
In Anthony's scenario, the twists would not be real people, and they would want to continue to exist because they're projections in Nell's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is quite far down the rabbit hole.
It is very far down the rabbit hole. Please join us down that rabbit hole for tea.
For our new listeners, the reason why the music thing is part of this theory, sometimes when people are actually in comas, their relatives will try to play music to wake them up. Music that's familiar to them. So we know Nell has a lot of relatives, right?
She has a ton of relatives.
She's basically related to anyone that has actually ever lived in Port Noranda ever.
Yeah.
And has died. Nobody else. I don't think she's got any actual living relatives. Okay. So maybe, like the guy on the dunny who was her brother or something, Dead Ned.
Yeah.
The other guy, the seagull man, whatever. They were all relatives to her and they died in the real life.
Yeah.
And she's quite upset. Now, because she has a lot of relatives, there's a couple of them that are still alive.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're in a band.
Yeah.
And they are trying to wake up Nell.
Yeah.
And so the reason that they can't do anything other than play music is because those specific brothers, the ones that are actually alive, they don't exist in her coma world because they're of significance to Nell, but they're not any significance to her in this dream world because she's consumed by the guilt of her lost relatives.
Yeah. That's the possibility.
They can't appear because they're actually alive, and they can only appear through the music.
Here's an alternate one as well. Yeah. What if the music is just someone doing the rounds at a ward who comes along, maybe they do shift work, comes around, and maybe it's like she comes around at 10 a.m. in the morning, turns on the radio because the nurse thinks that she plays nice classical music because the coma patients seem to like it. So it's okay. She puts it on because it's nice, comfortable music. She interprets the music from the outside world stimulus as actually being from her relatives.
Yep.
And that's what the music is. That's another possibility.
Maybe it's like in her trolley cart that she uses.
It's like when you have a dream
up
in front of a TV. If you ever fallen asleep in front of the TV, sometimes you'll dream what you'll hear on the TV, and you wake up and you're like, "Oh shit! I had a dream similar to this."
Things that have happened or are currently happening while you're sleeping will interact with what's happening in your mind.
Yeah.
Dream physics are very interesting. Yeah. And it's weird because a lot of TV shows and a lot of media don't get it right.
No, they don't.
Like a lot of people praise Inception for being fairly realistic in terms of dreams, but I didn't get that at all.
No, it wasn't
Not
at all.
From Inception. It was just like a layer of real world.
Well, dream time made no sense either.
Yeah.
Dream within a dream is therefore going to be years. That's
like this
stupid.
Arbitrary time.
I can understand time within a dream seeming longer at the first level, but then every level you go down doesn't make any sense.
It's not going to.
It's going to be the exact same fucking speed.
Yeah. There is a movie, Richard Linklater's film Waking Life. Have you ever seen that? Mm-mm. It's probably the best example that I can think of off the top of my head that handles dream physics really well. It goes into lucid dreaming and stuff.
What's it about?
It's hard to explain. It's basically a bunch of philosophical arguments that a guy is going through in what's basically a dream. So he goes from scene to scene, kind of drifting around. It's all kind of rotoscope animation.
Okay.
And the whole thing is very dreamlike. Another good one is The Limits of Control by Jim Jarmusch. And that whole movie is like a dream, but it's more like a film that's it knows that it's a film trying to be a dream, whereas Waking Life is more of a representation of a dream.
Well, there's another film I can think of which had Danny DeVito in it, I think. He was trying to dream.
Film?
I can't remember. It's he's
Twins?
Twins, yeah. I wish my twins on such. No, some film, he's like a main supporting character who teaches people how to lucid dream.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen this.
I don't know. But everyone tries to get into lucid dream. My question is, if you lucid dream, you can control your dream, right?
Yeah.
Okay, could you make yourself go to sleep in a lucid dream and then dream within the lucid dream?
That's very interesting. Lucid dreaming, for those who aren't aware, is when you realize that you're in a dream, but manage to keep yourself in the dream state without waking up.
Yeah.
So that you can manipulate the dream world around you.
Yeah, I don't really see the appeal. I just like to go on the magic journey. It's like a movie in my head. And if there's a scary part, I just say, okay, we're out, boys, and we just wake up.
There's probably some psychological conclusions you could draw from somebody's want to lucid dream.
Yeah.
So if you want to lucid dream, you could probably say that you have like control obsessions or something, and
Or
if
even
you don't,
or even
you have,
just
like,
you lack control, or you like the idea of being able to control your surroundings
yeah,
or something. I don't know.
maybe you just want to lucid dream.
Yeah, maybe you have scary dreams. Maybe you want to control your dreams or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway,
Back to the episode.
back to the episode.
They're on top of the lighthouse, the Twist family, and they see a chest floating in the ocean. This big wooden chest, and Pete and Linda run down to the ocean and drag it out, and it's very heavy. Big wooden chests, how easily do they float?
I don't know. Wood floats pretty well,
Because
right?
Pete and Linda were struggling to carry it.
Yeah.
It was pretty heavy. They struggled to open it later, but it was so very heavy, but it just kind of floated along in the water.
Well, it had to be watertight, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it
Like,
had a bunch of air in it.
It had to be watertight because when they opened it, of course, the thing was dry, which makes no sense unless it was watertight. So,
Yeah.
and wood is kind of buoyant on its own, right? Like, as long as you
Oh, yeah.
don't have water
Yeah, that's
within
true.
it, like they make boats out of it, you should be fine. So, yeah,
don't
I
know.
could see that happening. Like, because remember, like, heavy shit, like, you couldn't lift a heavy boat,
Yeah.
but a boat floats just fine on top. Like, even a small little, not a tinny, but the wooden tinnies,
Yeah.
basically, those little rowboats, those are heavy if you ever tried to lift one.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah. I can see your point. The problem was, though, barnacles were growing on this chest.
Yeah.
Would they have been growing if the chest had been floating for however long it's been floating around in the ocean?
Yeah, right.
Can they
'cause-
grow on its floating, or does it have to be, like, attached to the ground?
No, I think they can.
Oh, because barnacles grow on ships.
Barnacles
yeah.
grow on ships, but the ships often they're at dock, I think.
Oh, when they grow it.
But again, like if you're just wading through the waters, right,
Yeah.
close to the thing, I guess barnacles could easily grow off it. So yeah, I'm not a barnacle expert though, so we need someone who does barnacleology or whatever it is,
Barnacleology.
nautology or
It's
whatever.
marine biology, right? Are barnacles living organisms?
Yeah, but like that's not really the question. It's like because that would be like they'd tell us exactly what is a barnacle and how it's made and what its
They could
structure
tell
is.
us.
But what we want to know is from like a shipbuilder or something who can say,
Yes.
well, they don't really grow out in the middle of the ocean because of the I don't know, the XYZ yaw control or some
Yaw?
shit. I don't fucking know. What am I don't study this shit.
Yaw.
I'm not going to build a boat.
When we talk about like craft vessels and stuff, I like the spaceship one. There's 3 controls on a spaceship.
Yep.
Yaw, pitch, and roll. So I'm assuming boats have yaw. Yaw is the side to side, right? Roll.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
I don't
pitch is
know.
up and down on a
Okay,
spaceship.
well, yeah,
Pitch
roll
is up and down, yaw is side to side, and roll is obviously roll. We're using hand motions to explain it to you,
Okay.
but obviously you can't see that because this isn't a video podcast yet.
Yet.
One day.
One of these days, because nobody wants to see us.
Nobody wants to see our faces.
No.
Yaw, pitch, and roll.
Yes,
So-
I guess that's yaw, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this from Battlestar Galactica because there's that one episode where Starbuck gets crashed on the planet and she has to gut out a raider.
The thing is, you got yaw, you got pitch, and you got roll.
Yeah.
But
They're spaceship controls.
the problem with
or
that is
flight vessels.
up, down, left, right. But what about forward, backwards? What's forward, backwards?
That's throttle.
Throttle, okay. So,
These
forward,
are
backwards. Is that a-
steering controls.
steering control, okay.
Yeah, yaw, pitch, and roll are steering.
Okay, so I guess they only have like...
Propulsion controls are different, I guess.
It only has yaw, and I guess...
What?
It has...
a ship.
Yeah, ship only has yaw, and I guess it does technically have roll if the wave is big enough. But, yeah,
Because it has, the rudder is a yaw controller.
I guess so.
Pete and Linda say, we could have died dragging this out of the ocean. And Bronson said, well, lucky you had me here to help you. Bronson did nothing. as
Bronson,
always.
again, did nothing.
They drag out the chest.
You know what I like? Sorry,
Yeah.
they carry it back, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. It reminds me of when you've helped people move before, right? And they lift
Yeah.
they lift heavy. Usually, it's a couch. Is a good example.
Yes.
Or anything heavy that's usually only able to be carried by 2 people.
Yeah.
Bronson is you in that situation.
Me?
Is both of us. When you're in a situation where there's 2 people already carrying the chest, and you kind of want to help them, but you know for a fact that
You're just going to get in
you're
the
just
way.
going to get in the way, because lifting up in the middle, it's like, sure, that might help a little, but you're not really helping that much. You put up one hand on it, you put one hand on the thing, and you walk with them,
Yeah.
but you know for a fact you are not carrying that much. But you know for a fact you have to carry a little bit, otherwise
So
you look like you're not helping.
You look like an idiot.
Yep.
You're better off going down to one of the ends
Yeah.
and helping one of the person on the ends.
Yeah.
So or just taking over from one of the people.
Yeah.
Unless there's two massive people carrying it.
Yeah, in which case, or like you're employing them to do it like movers, and
Yeah.
then they can just do it because you're paying for them.
So what is the etiquette here? Do you say, would you like a hand? Do you just watch, or do you just help automatically?
Well, the thing is, if you say, would you like a hand, that most people go, oh, no, yeah, I think I'll be alright.
Yeah, mate.
But especially if it's men, because men will be like, yeah, I want to prove I'm tough and strong, unless it's really, really heavy,
But
in which
if you
case...
just start helping anyway, they could go, oh, you get in the way, mate.
Yeah, but like, again, if you start helping, or if you offer to help, they might be like, I don't know how you could help.
Yeah.
I think the thing you could do is offer to help, and they say no. You go, alright, I'll go get the other stuff that's there then, alright? And then, do you need me to move anything out of the way? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just try to buzz around them, offering help that isn't really helpful.
Yes.
And then they'll say, well, mate, this guy really helped out. He didn't carry much, but he helped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
well,
work.
it's like if usually you would only help your friends move, right?
Yeah, usually.
And you should be able to know in your friendship group, you should be able to know your role, and you should be like, usually you have like a system. If we're about to do something, it'd be like, oh, you do this, and you do this, if you're organised. Otherwise, if you're like helping your neighbour or something, you might get into the situation where you are feeling like,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Do I just stand around? I don't want to stand around. I look like an asshole. And I can't leave. You can't leave either, because if you leave, you look like a bigger asshole. Because it's like, I'm not really helping.
But at least you showed up.
Yeah, at least you showed up. That's the thing. You can at least be like, well, I showed up, so gimme.
They drag the chest out of the ocean and past a scarecrow, which we'll see in a minute. Bronson wants to make a Bromwhich.
Bromwhich.
And Tony wants to open the chest. So the Twist kids go inside, Bronson makes a Bromwhich, comes back outside, and Tony's working on the chest. So we've got the ingredients for a Bromwhich here, and we'll just go through them quickly. Bronson puts on his sandwich peanut butter.
Yep.
Yeah, good ingredient for a sandwich. Pickles.
Yep.
Are we talking about pickle paste, or are we talking about legitimate
Pickles,
like pickled cucumbers?
Had to be pickled, like actual pickles.
Actual pickles?
Which means he would have probably, based on the fact that we could see it was pretty level sandwich.
Yep.
He would have sliced them up pretty fine.
Would he? I think the ideal way to slice a pickle,
Or they were
is
like
lengthways.
pre-sliced pickles.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know if
Can
Tony.
you get them?
Well, maybe I don't even know if Tony would be like
I know you can
down
get them
with you
commercially.
using a sharp knife to cut your pickles. I don't know. He's like 8, right? Kid's like 8.
Yeah, he's
So
fairly
it's like
young.
I don't
He's
think I
7,
would.
think.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my 7-year-old making a sandwich where you have to cut a
maybe
pickle.
That's
That's
why
a bit much.
Pete and Linda were inside.
Oh, maybe that might have helped him. I guess. Yeah.
I think-
Well, who the hell would? Why would you help him? Like as Pete and Linda. Linda would be like, "No way, I'm not helping you with that because
That's disgusting.
I'm not putting pickles on that. I mean, go on.
I would cut them lengthways.
Of course, I do too.
Because widthways is stupid. Like you get on your. Actually, the best way is kind of lengthways, but at an angle. That's the way that it looks best. Like
Yes.
the way you cut a cucumber, just like at an angle.
Yeah.
So it's like longer than a normal like widthway slice.
The thing is, you waste so much doing that.
Yeah,
though.
you do, but it looks way better.
Yeah, it does.
And then there's Vegemite. He's got peanut butter, pickles, Vegemite. Probably not a good combination. We've talked about Vegemite.
No, pickles
on
and
this podcast in the
Vegemite.
past.
Pickles and Vegemite, maybe like because they kind of complement each other, I guess. But
Vegemite
like,
and the next ingredient,
They're
banana.
not.
I think that would be okay. Vegemite and banana.
really,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, you want to make a Bromwich one day?
We should do this
Try,
for
I
the
guess.
podcast one day.
Fuck, I don't want to do that.
Peanut butter, pickles, Vegemite, banana, and cream.
Like whipped cream?
I assume. He says banana and cream as if it's one ingredient. Is
Oh,
this-
so it might be creamed banana. So like bananas and cream.
maybe this is a southern thing that we don't know about.
Yeah, or banana cream. You had a banana cream pies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's a pie.
Yeah, well, the banana cream, obviously,
He just
that goes into
scooped
the
it
pie.
out of a pie and put it on a
Well, there's
sandwich.
a pie later in the episode, so...
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know, maybe
good
you might have
pickup.
grabbed that. I don't know if that would taste any good, but it could be good. I don't think
The sandwich, as you were saying, is quite flat, so he must have chopped the banana quite thin as well.
Unless, of course, it's a creamed banana. You can,
Okay.
You can do that. You can, like, mash up your banana and you can, like, get your cream and sort of whip it. So it's like
Yeah.
a banana cream flavour to it.
Yeah.
Which
Maybe that's
might
what
work.
he did.
Yeah, that might work.
Because you're probably better off mashing a banana if you're going to put it on a sandwich anyway.
Yeah, so... Or it's banana-flavoured cream.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not actually a real banana, so...
Sometimes I butter 2 pieces of bread, and just put a whole banana on them.
Really?
Just put it in and squash the pieces of bread together.
Fucking weird, man. You and your weird food.
It's not weird.
Yes, it is. You eat a banana.
You had it last week. You had a pizza with Vegemite in the crust. That's weird.
Vegemite and cheese in the crust. It's like eating a cheesy toast with Vegemite on it.
Yeah, I don't want that on my pizza.
Well, it's better than having banana in the fucking crust. I can tell you that much. I wouldn't have banana stuffed crust.
banana in their crust?
I don't know. You like wrapping up your bananas and fucking. You know what would be good though?
What?
Okay, is if you French toast, right? If you got your banana, you wrapped it up in a bread, right, and then dunked it in some French toast batter or something, and then maybe baked it.
Okay.
Right, and so then you bake like the nice cinnamon toast crunch thing on the outside with like a nice sort of cooked banana, so that it sort of caramelizes on the inside. That actually sounds really fucking good. Do I have any bananas? No, I don't. Okay.
Okay, podcast time, not banana time.
I want some fucking banana. French toast.
You are not allowed to leave the podcast to go and make French toast banana. Bronson's eating his Bromwhich. He offers some to Tony. Tony says, no, I can't handle a Bromwhich, too rich for me. I would imagine that there's probably been an incident in the past where he had some Bromwhich and it did not end well.
It's like a father's duty, right, to like have to try...
He's 7. Bronson's 7.
You try the sandwich once.
Dad, try my Bromwhich.
Oh, sure. No, that's going to be great. Oh, God. What is this? Just... It's got too rich flavour for me, son. Can't have any of that.
I do salute Bronson's perseverance, because apparently Bromwich is a thing, so he must have done it a few times. Usually when you're a kid and you do something once, you give it a name, never do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Or do it like twice, or do it for a week, and then never again.
Well, I mean, maybe that's good character building for later in life.
Maybe
when he's taken too many hits, maybe when he's been rejected that many times by girls or by job hunters, he'll be like, Bromwich. Remember the Bromwich. And he will, you know what? He's going to be a successful future leader.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, successful entrepreneur.
We've veered off a lot in this episode, but I just want to go quickly. What career path do you think Bronson will go after? A chef? Do you think he's likely to be a chef? With his disgusting choice in foods?
He would be a fusion chef.
A fusion chef?
Yeah, like, I saw that and I thought, that's probably served...
as well.
That's probably served in some weird, underground fucking cafe with like out a sign on the door. It's like, I'll call this Australia Surprise or something, or some other name. I don't know, some sort of bleeding
Bromwich.
Australia. Yeah, Bromwich, something like that. Yes, he will be a fusion chef, or he will be.
If there's any
he'll be a traffic controller.
If we have any restaurateurs in our listenership, you should try the Bromwich. Get it out there, put it on a menu for a couple of days, see how it does. Get back to us.
Yeah. Tell us when you go out of business because of us.
Tony's trying to open the chest, and he goes to get a blowtorch from his shed. Bronson just pulls off the lock, and the family try to pry it open. So it takes there's 4 of them. It takes all 4 of them working together to lift the lid off, even though it's already been banged at by
remember
Tony.
We said it was, like, we didn't say it was sealed, but this might be an indication that it was sealed. Maybe there was like some sap or something that created a seal. Which is why it was really hard to open.
It's possible.
Explains its buoyancy and it being dry.
Like, wood is quite porous.
Yeah.
So the water could have gone into the clothes. But this little scene or shot here is suggesting that it didn't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. They open up the chest and there's a lot of circus clothes. Really odd circus clothes. And we hear some creepy circus music, which will keep playing for the remainder of the episode.
Yep.
And the kids ask their dad, where did this come from? And he goes, I don't know. Nell might know.
Yeah, Nell might know.
Knows.
She always knows. She's always knows something. Why? Well, we know why. We've discussed this numerous times.
Ladies can't be clowns, says Bronson, when Tony pulls out some lady clown clothing. Clothing would be a different thing.
Insert your disliked female politician here.
Yeah, so
whatever you fancy.
Ladies can't be clowns. Yes, they can. Julia Gillard.
She was. Oh, yes, she can. She led the UK. Wink, wink.
Linda says they can. Ladies can be anything. They can be pilots. They can be surgeons. Bronson says, can they be fathers?
And no, they can't. But then they can. So
can they?
Well, apparently they can. No,
I don't. Biologically?
No, I don't.
Or socially?
No. Socially, I think.
I don't think that they... Well, it's different, right?
Yeah.
A female parent is different to a male parent. Like, this might be controversial.
Yeah.
But I think a female parent is different from a male parent. So you could have 2 mums, I guess, but one of them isn't a dad.
Yeah.
It's still a mum.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Just because there's two of them doesn't make one of them a dad.
Or it's just talking more like transgender, sort of the weird thing like that.
Yeah, well,
But then it's like, does that really count?
That's complicated.
Yeah, but does it really count though? Like, I don't think so. Like, remember that time there was like the pregnant woman? There was this big thing. It was like, oh, it's a pregnant woman. But she was a.
It was a.
No, pregnant man. It was a pregnant man. Sorry.
Yeah, but it was like originally a woman.
Yeah, so it's like that's how he got pregnant. So I was like, that's not really.
Yeah, it's not really a pregnant man.
Yeah, sort of. But it's like, but he is a man. I'm like, yeah, but he still has the facilities to make a baby. Okay, so I don't see the surprise in there.
Yeah,
it's just a shock that he looks like a man and he's carrying a baby.
Very confusing and
whatever.
Linda,
you know what I didn't notice? Linda didn't, you know what she didn't say?
What?
You know, women can be garbage men. Just saying.
Linda can be garbage.
They can be if they want to.
If they wanted to. There's no push for that. Linda compares the female clown to the Germaine Greer of the circus world. She's ahead of her time, apparently.
The Germaine Greer of the circus world is Germaine Greer.
Germaine Greer, very topical in 1989. Not so much in 2015.
I don't know. She was, okay, maybe
she was in the news a few years ago when Steve Irwin died.
Yeah, she made some comments about Steve Irwin, which...
Even that's
to be
pretty old.
Fair.
Yeah.
They were apt comments, wrongly timed. She had said that a year... I know. She said that a year later, people would have been like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Because it was something like, you know, if you mess around with dangerous animals, you're going to get hurt. Well, for one, she doesn't know shit about dangerous animals.
Yep.
Because she's... I mean, I will give credit to the amount to say that Steve Irwin probably knows a little bit more, but she's absolutely right. If you work with dangerous animals, it's like saying if you work with dangerous equipment, there's always the risk of being killed by it. Yes, this is. That's why you usually get like miners sometimes will get like there's like an extra boost in the pay.
Yeah,
because it's like hazard pay. That's it. So I guess so. And she was on Q&A. That's the only time I've seen her.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was on Q&A, and she was pretty clever on that.
Q&A have the ability to get anyone they want.
Q&A is the only reason that people in Australia have Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, once people can post shit on Q&A. Oh, and so that they can also comment in 500 Seconds of Summer.
And comment to us.
Yes, at
Tales from the Twists. Plural. On Twitter.
On Twitter, find us. TFT Twists, I think.
TFT Twists.
Just go through our Facebook page. We've got a little link there. It's fine. Just go to our apps.
TFT Twists. Pete says to Linda, don't be such a girl. Linda gets really mad and says, take that back. And then Pete says, alright, you're not a girl. Oh!
I like that's funny.
What a burn. And then she got mad.
Yeah, she's like, oh, how dare you say I'm a girl?
She kind of
like, how dare you say I'm not a girl? Well,
she walked into that.
No, she did.
They put some clothes on the scarecrow to apparently keep him warm. They put the clown clothes, the male clown clothes, not the lady clown clothes.
Yeah.
And then we get a shot of the most phallic the lighthouse has ever been.
Yep.
Standing proud on a sunset.
Yep, exactly. Pretty much, like, I'm not trying to say that, look, I can't not see it. Like, it's clearly a dick. Like, it's used a lot. Like, the shot is used a lot in advertising to make it, to convey to men, especially, use this product, you will get a bigger, your manhood will increase. A good example of this is, I don't know if you've ever seen this, it's like, I think there's a sports drink called Maximus, okay?
Maximus.
Yeah, some Gatorade ripoff, basically. The shot is exactly the same way you have it shot, okay? It's shot where you can see the bottle, it's just at the bottom of the poster, and the angle of it makes it look like you're looking down at the bottle.
Okay.
And it comments on it saying, size really matters, you know? Stuff like that. And it's like, yes, that's a penis. We get it. This looks exactly the same as the lighthouse. The shot is exactly the same. It's really weird, you know?
Okay. And it has relevance to the following scene.
It does. I don't want to get into this. Like, I thought we covered this last week, but no, now we're going to go delve back in the deep.
I feel a bit icky, but here we go. So, we hear some screaming coming from, presumably, Linda's room, and we see Tony on the stairs, and he's quite concerned. The screaming is, would you say this screaming is sexual?
It sounded sexual, but maybe that was just bad acting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was supposed to be just scared, like, but it did sound a little weird to, when you're hearing it again, you're like, the fuck? Yeah. And then she comes in, and then you can see her, like, thrashing in the bed with her arms up, you're like, okay, yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was, okay.
Anthony and I were sitting here taking notes furiously as we were watching the episode.
Yeah.
Then the screaming started, and I was like, whoa, hang on.
What?
Stop it.
Stop.
Because this is really weird.
Yeah, because it wasn't like screaming like fear scare screaming. It was screaming like, I guess I'd kind of call it porn? Screaming porn moans?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. But on the scale between porn moan and scary scream, it was definitely leaning towards a porn moan over a scare scream.
It's about 7 bowls of spaghetti towards that direction.
Yes, 7 bowls of spaghetti.
Linda has apparently had a nightmare, and Tony comes in and is sitting on her bed looking very concerned. And she says
father should.
that Elspeth, the lady clown, is very, very sad.
Really?
Yes, this is what she says. And Tony says, how do you know this? And she says, I just know. Elspeth is really sad and I can't get it out of my mind. Now, use your imagination.
Yeah.
Take this as you will, and we'll get back to it later. Family have all dressed up in costume. It's the next morning. And they've each taken a role.
Yes.
From the various circus clothes in the chest. Tony is dressed as a fortune teller. He's looking at a crystal ball on the table. Pete is dressed as a juggler. Linda is dressed as the lady clown, and she says she's feeling very sad because these clothes are powerful and they have the power to affect her emotions.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Bronson is the ringmaster. I think Bronson is the only one that doesn't actually display any powers.
He does. He is
What does he
surprisingly
do?
good ring mastery.
I thought that was just Bronson being Bronson.
I thought it was Bronson being Bronson too, but he's very good at it. Like, beyond just... Like, he was like, step right up, right up, right up. And then he does that multiple times.
Yes.
It's like you would assume that that's the thing.
Is he
I guess.
Tiger level commentator?
He was getting Tiger level. That was what I picked up. He was getting
was
Tiger level.
almost
He was
as good as
See,
Tiger.
if Tiger had rocked up, though, he'd be like, please, come on.
let me do
let
it.
Let me do it, okay? I don't need no magic hat, okay?
I don't need no magic hat.
Bitch, please.
Yeah, so apparently these clothes have powers.
Yeah.
And Tony goes, oh, I know. Someone special is coming, and someone else is coming too. And we cut outside to Gribble, and he's got some Americans who are apparently Texan, and he's blasting some country music. This is a reoccurring thing.
Casual racism this time to Americans.
Whenever he has somebody from a specific ethnicity or location,
It's nice.
he blasts the appropriate, racially stereotypical music.
It's nice to know, at least, that Mr. Gribble is casually racist to, like, everybody. I mean, if you're going to be casually racist, then it being casually racist to everybody is better than...
If you're casually racist to everyone, does that cancel out and mean that you are not casually racist at all?
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm just going to say you're kind of just, like, maybe you're ignorant. Like, you don't really know their culture, so you think this is what it is. And because you do it to everybody, you're not really judging one race over another. You're not saying, you're thinking, Americans, they love this country music, I'm going to play it for them. Yeah, it's awesome. If he does it for all these different cultures, then it clearly shows he's just motivated to try to impress the person and thinks that's what they do.
That could still be considered racism.
It's still considered racism, but is it bad? Like, is it bad in the same way that we would view racism as if he'd just said, my American friends, my trusted investors, and just had regular stuff.
Racism is racism, right?
Yeah, it is.
And yesterday I had to teach a lesson on racism.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. I was at a school and I had to teach a class on racism, and because that's what they had to do, and I loaded up the PowerPoint having done no preparation because I'm a relief teacher, and I just had to start teaching about racism based on the PowerPoint. And some of the things on the slideshow I think were a little bit incorrect.
Like what?
Oh, it's just some weird things, like they said racism didn't exist before the ancient Greeks or something.
That's retarded. So it did? They're like, didn't the Egyptians enslave, Jews?
Yeah.
Even if it didn't happen, I'm pretty sure that there were cavemen who were like, I don't like the look of those cavemen over there. They've got that weird sort of, they don't have the bone in their hair.
Yeah.
They don't have the bone in their hair. What the fuck's up with that? And they're taller too. You know what? They're taller. You know why they're taller? Because they're crooks. That's why.
It was weird because this lesson that I was teaching that I knew nothing about beforehand. It said racism didn't exist before this point, but then it was inconsistent because it also said racism can be based on anything, and it did that. You know, the lady from America that made the kids in her class be racist by doing the blue-eyed, brown-eyes experiment?
No.
There's these kids, and she says, okay, the blue-eyed people, you're special. Brown eyes are not so good. And so it creates this, mini race war within her class because they were all white people, because it was somewhere in America where they were all white.
That's a good way of, eye color, because, it's not usually done. The weird thing is, that the blue people are special. I know that they're supposed to be special, but they don't...
No, it was it was a social
within the
game experiment.
With the dynamics of the classroom, though, in order to emphasize that, shouldn't the blue people be the ones that you prejudiced against? because they're statistically going to be the rarer type.
No, but this is what the experiment does, right? You take one group, it doesn't matter what it is, some arbitrary distinction, and you say you're special. And now the people that are special are going to start picking on the people that aren't special because they're not, and they'll take out their frustrations on those people.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't special will start to help the people that hate the people that are privileged.
Yeah.
And then if they swap that around, then the same thing will happen. The people that were previously picked on will now become the picker-oners.
Yeah.
Because now they're in a
I think
position of
that
elevated power.
but they should have also, they should have still,
the-
to emphasize the point, they should have made clear distinctions as well, like, at least at the start of
Yeah.
the difference between being a majority
Yeah.
and being the racially
Yeah, but
special, and being the minority and being considered racially special.
But the idea of the experiment was
Yeah.
just to prove that racism or discrimination of any sort, that doesn't actually, it's got nothing to do with actual race. It's to do with like
They're
power
different.
inequalities or
Yeah.
culture inequalities, stuff like that. It's just humans, anything that's different will create tension and therefore conflict.
Yeah.
That was the point of the experiment.
Okay.
But the PowerPoint was conflicting because it said racism wasn't a thing before weapons or something.
Before weapons, that's retarded.
Well, before
Still,
like
whatever.
mass weaponry. But let's not get into.
I like
public
this conversation,
school
but whatever. Yeah, we've got to get back to the episode. We're going to run out of time.
We're already out of time.
Ah, well, that's all right.
The family are all in costume, and the Gribbles arrive, blasting their country music.
It was really
And Gribble.
It wasn't country. It was
Yeah, it was country
It was
western. Some banjos.
Yeah, it was banjos.
country
It was
and
like
western.
Appalachian Mountains or whatever.
it?
Yeah, it was like there was country bumpkin, hillbilly music. Hillbilly music. That's what it's. I mean,
But
that's
he says this is country music.
yeah. He says this is country music, but
Maybe
it's
they just
clearly
couldn't
hillbilly
afford
music.
any.
And you know the guys I think were from Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Right? Well, Texas is nowhere near where hillbillies are from. They're like around about the south. Texas is in the south, but it's way
The
west
dirty
of the south.
It's the dirty south, right? There's the dirty south and the deep south.
Yeah, it's not even close to the deep south. So like, it makes no sense. Like, it's not even the same pattern. Like, there should have been more fiddles and shit, maybe, to be more casually racist towards the Texans. You know?
They deserve it. Nobody deserves racism.
Well,
I was joking.
I mean, like, and he didn't say there was oil. I was surprised he didn't go, there's oil under that as well, because, you know, Texans have oil. Like,
So he says, okay, listen up. We're going to the people that live here. They're a bit crazy. Some crazy things happen around here. Just be prepared. Anything might happen. We get another shot of the very phallic lighthouse.
Yes.
Then we see eyes from behind the scarecrow start to move.
it's really creepy.
So I like that interesting thing. We get the phallic lighthouse, then we get eyes behind the scarecrow move. Is it trying to say something? Read into it what you want.
Yeah.
Bronson emerges from the lighthouse, and he says, introducing Madame Dad. And Tony Twist comes out dressed as a fortune teller in a large amount of drag. Linda was, for some reason, not there. She was at... Okay, yeah, I got something wrong. Right after we see the phallic lighthouse, the eyes behind the scarecrow moved, and Linda saw them move, because she was there for whatever
she was.
reason.
She was
I don't remember why.
Yeah.
And she runs back to where Tony and the Gribbles are, and she says, Dad, the scarecrow's alive, I saw it move. And Gribble's like, see, I told you these people were crazy. Listen, Tony, I've got an acquisition order from the council, and I'm going to buy this lighthouse.
Yeah.
And Faye rocks up.
Yeah.
And Tony said, there's a lot of things happening at once in this scene. And Tony says, oh, I know what you're about to say. You want me to take you to a concert at 8 o'clock. I'll pick you up at 7:30. And you also want to borrow Change of Chores, the sculpture that he'd made about femininity. And she says, oh, how did you know? And he goes, I just know these things. Apparently she's borrowing the sculpture for an equal rights seminar.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, there you go. But
you
see,
go.
she sees validity
She does,
in
she sees
Tony's
it.
art.
Yeah.
Pete is a unicycle expert.
Yeah.
And Bronson announces him, and he comes in and he amazes everyone. Not sure what the point of this was. I guess just proving that they're slowly being possessed by the powers of the
because
clothes.
it was like, oh, we needed Bronson and we needed Watsamajiki to do things, so let's get him to just do cliche circus roles because we need Linda to be a clown.
Yep.
That's important, and Tony being a fortune teller. That's kind of important a little.
Yeah, well,
it sort of
him
is
being,
important.
It is important. Yeah. Faye takes the sculpture away with her and puts it in her car. Linda, I think, helps her for whatever reason, and Gribble says, listen, Tony, we're going to take this lighthouse. There's nothing you can do about it. The acquisition form is coming. And Tony says, the acquisition's going to be thrown out of court. And I just know it. And the Gribbles are like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then he said, okay, the rain is going to get you. Then he goes back inside the lighthouse and closes the door. And it starts raining.
Yep, because Tony Twist is psychic now. And that's 2 episodes in a row where we have
Fortune tellers.
fortune tellers.
Yep.
Yep.
And dark themes.
Dark themes, yep.
The Twist children are concerned that they're going to lose the lighthouse because of the council acquisition form.
Yep.
And what are we going to do about this? They ask to Tony, their dad, and he says nothing. Okay, so I got vibes from the castle here, except they're not going to save the house like they did in the castle. Like they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And also, I've been reading the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov.
Yes.
And in that, one of the major plot lines is like there's this guy from a long time ago called Harry Seldon, and he's put this plan to delay shorten the length of an intergalactic Dark Ages, like the Dark Ages from medieval times, right?
Yep.
And what he has done, he's made this special plan so that everything will go according to his plan, and the Dark Ages will be reduced from 30,000 years to 1,000 years. And often, the heroes of the story occurs over the 1,000 years of the building of the Foundation, or the new empire.
Yeah.
A lot of the heroes will attempt to do things, or decide not to do things, because of the plan.
Yeah.
And so in this, Tony knows what's going to happen, and he doesn't have to do anything to help the good guys win.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting note.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a hero is heroic for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because of the greater plan.
Well, like, what that's like the greater plan is his inaction. I mean, we can talk about this all day. It's like, is his inaction a part of the plan, so he must not act?
Yep.
And his choice to not act is therefore a choice?
It brings into question, like, predestination and stuff, with fortune telling.
Well, there's a problem with, obviously, any type of future prediction thing, is it just brings that equation. It's not an equation, that paradox, or those quandaries, or what the fuck I'm talking about.
Tony says,
Spaceman.
I need to get back change of chores. I'm going to need it soon. It's going to be very important. And
Was
they
it that
say,
important?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry, it is. Yeah.
And he says, I need to go back, get it back from Faye. And
But did he say why?
He doesn't say why, but he rushes off to
Does
go
he
get
know-
it. He gets changed first.
What's his psychicness? Is it...
He can tell the future.
Yeah, but how? To what degree? Like, I
don't
need...
know.
Because, like, if he could see what was going to happen, potentially, I guess, maybe he knew exactly what was going to happen. Let's go on the assumption that he says he knows exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
He knows that Linda's going to be chased around by the scarecrow.
Yep.
It happens later. And then he will save her. But that's still an awkward situation to put your daughter in, when in reality, you would probably want her to be near someone else. Another adult, Nell.
Yeah.
Nell is good.
Maybe a lot of times when we talk about fortune telling in popular fiction, whenever the subject matter is too emotionally close, they're clouded. So maybe Linda was too close to him that he couldn't see. But he could see the fate of the lighthouse.
Or it could just be like a reflex.
And that wasn't crowded.
Like, it could be like a reflex where it's like, he knows what to do and what some key things that are going to happen, but he doesn't really know anything else between those points. Like, he knows he needs that sculpture. He knows it's going to be thrown out of court. Just because he knows. In the same way that you know that when you get hit in the knee, you're going to get a reflex. It just will happen.
Maybe he knew that nothing actually bad happens to Linda, right? She gets scared later on, but nothing actually bad happens to her. So maybe he knew that nothing bad was actually going to help her because he gets back in time from grabbing the sculpture.
Maybe he's can time travel.
I don't think he's time traveling.
I don't know. Maybe that's how he's fortune teller. Maybe he's time traveled enough times to know that inaction is the only way to success.
When does he have time to time travel?
Maybe the fortune teller doesn't give him the abilities to see the future. Maybe it gives him the ability to relive the past.
When is he time traveling in this episode?
Well, I don't know. If you time traveled and you did it right, you wouldn't know.
If you went back to the exact point that you were missing.
And you did it right, and you carried on, you wouldn't know, but you'd still know the future.
But we don't see him later on.
What do you mean?
We don't see future him.
We don't know, though, in the future, where it might be like season 5, right? Season 5
just shows up.
And he's like, oh, it's not even in, there's no season 5.
Yeah.
Because Gribble was able to get the lighthouse. He's like, oh, so I'm going to go back. And he's tried it again and again and again. And he's been through this loop about 1,000 times. This is the perfect opportunity.
You could go with the theory that each time you go into the future or go into another point in the timeline, you create a new timeline.
Yeah.
So if he's going into the future, he's created a new timeline in which he has managed to go into the future. Or... Yes.
Because it's all in Nell's head, you just sort of know.
It just happens.
It just happens because he says so.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
same way a dream does.
That's plausible.
Yeah.
The kids go out to check on the scarecrow because Linda's worried about it, and it has moved a little bit.
Yeah.
And Linda says, it's these spooky costumes. You know, they're doing weird things to us. Pete and Bronson have the brilliant idea to leave their sister unattended next to a spooky scarecrow.
They said we should go get Nell.
Yeah, they go get Nell.
And she says, I'm going to stay here. So it's not on Bronson or Pete. It's
but one of them
Linda.
should have stayed behind. They should have sent Bronson to go get Nell and left Pete.
Yeah, but knowing Bronson, he'd be completely useless and would
Yeah,
come back with a dragon or something.
They should have left Bronson and sent Pete.
And leave a small child.
Or maybe they all should have gone.
They all should have gone. Is the answer I think, to that one. What if the scarecrow moves? Well, then it won't hurt us. Who cares, man?
Well, maybe it was like it would hide inside the house with a knife or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
do. Yeah,
it's probably better than what actually happens.
Well, you need a weapon then, I guess.
Pete and Bronson, so they go off because Nell will apparently know what to do because she always does.
Yeah.
On the way, Pete does a tightrope dance on a wire fence.
For some reason.
Whatever. What are you thinking, Paul Jennings?
I think it was just to fill out time.
Probably. It's making us go overtime.
Yeah, I know.
Linda is scared, and she catches it blink again.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I dare you to move in front of me. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
Yep.
And then she turns around, and then she hears something, turns back around.
And it moves.
It's moved.
Yep. And
Linda,
she's like, you can only move when it can't see me.
You're a coward.
Yeah.
You only move when I'm not looking. And then it, moves, and then it does this, real creepy scream. It's like, and Linda, pisses her pants. And, starts running back to the house. And it, reaches up and grabs the stake that's holding it to the ground and wrenches it out of its back.
It's like in every horror movie where you see, someone get, the character getting stabbed, a supernatural character gets stabbed, and just go...
Yeah,
pulls out the
that's
knife,
good.
And then he has the knife, but he drops the knife this time.
Well, it's not a knife.
I
It's
know,
a
but it's a
large
stake,
pole.
but it's fucking creepy,
It is the creepiest thing that I've ever seen. Had you seen this episode before?
Never.
When it started to happen, I was like, oh, you better pay attention here. And then the creepy stuff starts to happen, and everything's like, oh!
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
So, Linda starts running back to the house, and the scarecrow is following her, and it's going, and she quickly jumps inside the lighthouse and slams the door shut and locks it. And she sticks her face up against the glass to see if it's following her. It comes and starts banging on the glass. And she freaks out and starts running away. Yeah, and then it stands back, jumps, vaults through this small hole, this small glass hole in the door. It's like a porthole.
Porthole, yeah.
Porthole. In the middle of the door, it smashes through, arms first, then head, then body, then legs. Or does a little roll on the ground and then, vaults up onto his feet, and it's like,
that's creepy.
Linda is freaking. She runs upstairs, goes into her room, locks it, and grabs a tennis racket.
Yeah.
We hear laughing outside, and the scarecrow's roaming around on the stairs. Linda opens the door, and the straw man on it, he stops. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's not there. We just see straw on the steps.
Yeah, we see footprints of straw.
Why she opens the door, I don't know. This is probably just stay in the room.
Yeah.
Now we'll be back soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stay there.
Just stay in the room. He really cannot get in the room. It's a solid piece of... What's it made out of? Cement or brick or something?
We'll see later. It's not that strong.
What? Oh, yeah, true.
But her best option is to stay in the room.
It is.
She goes downstairs because she sees straw going up the staircase. And she goes into Pete's room.
Yeah.
She's looking around with her tennis racket. And then the creepiest thing that I've ever seen... The scarecrow's hand comes out from under the bed and grabs her foot.
It's like that movie. Can't remember. It's got the clown.
Which one? It?
Not It. It's some other one where there's the clown that kills people. It's not It. And it grabs you from underneath. Is it? God, I can't remember them. No, is it It? I don't think it's It though. It might be It, where it's the clown. He grabs your hand, grabs you from underneath the bed, and pulls you underneath. That's from a movie. I've never seen the movie. I know it's It's a killer clown that pulls you from underneath the bed and fucking kills you. I don't think it's It, but if it is, then it is It, I guess.
So it's grabbed her foot. She freaks out and tries to run away. And then the scarecrow follows her, but then smashes a hole in the wall as it starts to follow her out onto the staircase. It grabs a piece of the wall and surfs down the stairs.
Wall is
really weak.
I forget whether it's
balsa wood.
Yeah, it's not a balsa wood, or it's some sort of
chipboard.
No, it's not chipboard. Let's say it's chipboard. It's too hard to describe, but it's very weak. It's paper thin bark, and he just uses it to slide skateboard down, like in Lord of the Rings, where what's his name?
Legolas.
Legolas. Yeah, he skates down the stairs while he shoots arrows at people in the two towers.
Dumb.
right? Yeah, it basically does that. So, Ilga stole it from the clown.
Yep.
Yep. Paul Jennings again.
Good
One
job,
up.
Paul Jennings. One up.
Peter Jackson
pop culture.
watched Round the Twist and was like, I'm stealing that. Thank you very much.
The Scarecrow gets to the bottom of the stairs and Linda is gone. We cut to Nell on the beach with Bronson and Pete, and she goes, "What are you wearing those clothes for?" Because they're still in the circus clothes. And she's like, "Leave the dead alone."
She knows.
Very important.
Straight away.
Leave the dead alone.
Yeah.
Like, you should just leave them be. Don't go to weird abandoned seagull shacks and steal seagulls and get pooped on.
Well, she did that first, so...
Don't do anything where dead people are involved.
I like how she said leave the dead alone, as opposed to where'd you get those garments? And then it was, it's a floating she... Oh, did she? I thought it was like she said leave the dead alone, and then it's like, oh, you got the garments from the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a circus. And it was like, how do you know all this? I don't understand. You know so much. It's almost like you're in a coma or something.
Leave the dead alone is a message for her. Because if she is in a coma and she is stressing about the loss of her brothers...
Leave the dead alone.
Just leave them be.
Let them be.
And you can move
resurrected.
on. They're dead, you're not.
They're in
Move on
heaven
with your
or
life.
purgatory now. You can leave purgatory.
So she knows... She just knows all these things. The clothes have special powers.
Yeah.
She says, "Oh, where's Linda?" And Pete says, "Oh, she's clowning around with the Scarecrow." And Nell basically, like, poos her pants.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh shit, we need to get in on this." She needs to run back and save.
We go back to Gribble, and he's got the Texans again, and they're at the lighthouse, and he's going, "Oh, look at this." Total tranquility. And then from around the side of the lighthouse runs Linda, running as the clown is chasing after her in a scene from, like, Irreversible or something.
Yeah.
And the Gribble freaks out, runs back to his ute, and drives away, leaving the Texans there, and they chase after him. I don't know why they just didn't call the police or something. Maybe they were scared it was like Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, maybe. Or it's just like, Mr. Gribble doesn't really care, I guess. Maybe he's evil, so he's like, fuck this, I'm hightailing it out of
Well,
here.
he's self-concerned.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's self-concerned. Whether that's evil or not is up for you to decide.
That's true.
Linda and the Scarecrow run inside, and they're, like, facing off around the dinner table, and she picks up the pie that we mentioned before and shoves it in the clown Scarecrow's face.
Yep.
And he loves it. He's, like, bouncing around and doing... It's still creepy, but he's like clowning around.
Having a good time.
Trying to do horrible things to Linda.
Yeah, trying to sexually assault her.
One thing, if we could just backtrack a minute... One of the things that Nell said that I forgot to mention was that she knows that the clothes have special powers, and that the man clown that died, was obsessed with the girl clown.
Yeah, they were in love.
He was in love with her, she says.
Yeah, but...
And the girl clown apparently tried to leave the circus and then died.
Yeah.
Kind of ominous. Sounds very ominous.
Well, yeah, I guess, but, like, remember when later on, we find that they do love each other. Or is it, like...
Yeah, I think that's debatable.
I don't know. Alright, I'll debate that.
But the main thing to take away here is that the man clown loved the female clown.
Yeah.
And we found out earlier, when Linda was in her bedroom with Tony, that the clown was very sad.
Yeah.
Because of something that happened, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe the man clown did something bad.
Or maybe the ringmaster. Maybe she had an affair with the ringmaster.
Where are you getting that from?
I don't know. She had an affair with the ringmaster, and then the clown...
Where are you pulling this from?
I don't know. The clown was just like, the male clown found out about it, and, like, he was really, really upset or something. Or, alternatively, he didn't find out, and the ringmaster tried to, like, blackmail the female clown, because, you know, she could be like, I'll tell male clan about it, and you two will break up.
Is this just
she
your
was just
fantasy
like, I don't know.
circus
So she
story?
just, like, leaves, right? She leaves the clown, runs away, and kills herself, or she dies, and then the male clown is really upset, and, I don't know, is bonded to the ringmaster for life, because he's the only family he's got, or something. I
think it's more likely that the man clown was obsessed and possibly stalking the female clown.
Yes.
Did something bad to hurt her in some way.
Yeah.
And then the female clown got really sad,
Yeah.
left the circus, and then commit suicide.
What happens when you're a sad clown?
I don't know. Why?
You can't get cheered up. Doctor
nothing
recommends that you go see Geppetto the clown, and then you get upset and you cry because you are Geppetto the clown.
Oh, snap. What a twist.
Yes, a tale from a twist.
Pete saying, "Oh, what do we need to worry about Linda for? Like, she can take care of herself. She knows, like, what does she know? Judo?"
Yeah, she knows judo.
Then,
So-
as soon as he says that, Linda runs out of the lighthouse, like, screaming, and Pete and Nell start shouting at her, "Take off your clothes!" And she goes, "Yeah, right.
Don't be
I'm not
stupid."
I'm not going to take off my clothes. That would make this situation even worse.
Yes.
Which I think is a fairly valid point.
But then Nell's like, "No, take him off because of the magic powers."
Yeah, because it's possessing you. The clown thinks that you are the female clown. She quickly takes off the clothes. Conveniently, she's wearing full clothes underneath.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Scarecrow takes the clothes and starts mourning as he holds them. And then Tony rocks up. He's got his mannequin in the back.
Yeah.
He goes, "Guys, I know what's happening. The Scarecrow is alive." The twists try to tell him, and he talks over the top of them. Scarecrow's alive and loves Linda, and now he's sad and alone. So he takes the clothes of the female clown and puts them on change of chores.
Yes.
And then we watch, in the worst transition of all time in television, as the mannequin's red lips turn into the clown's red lips.
Yeah.
And the clowns are together again. And they start doing backflips. What's the takeaway from this?
I actually was... What do you mean?
From the female clown being happy?
Is
Is it suggesting that, A, she actually loved the clown back and was sad because she had left the circus? Or
Yeah.
B, the male clown's magic is so powerful that now she is in love with the male clown?
I'm going to go with A. I'm glad I don't know.
I think it's more sinister.
I don't think it's sinister at all. I think that she's alive now and the ringmaster is dead. No, wait, they would want to kill the ringmaster then.
Why do you keep talking about the ringmaster?
Well,
The
it's not-
ringmaster is Bronson. He does nothing.
I
He's
know.
exactly the same as Bronson. He does nothing.
Yeah, Bronson is a manipulative person.
No, he's not. He does
He is.
nothing.
He manipulates
He does
the
nothing.
world around
No,
him
he doesn't.
for his own
He's
advantageous
exactly the
gain.
same as the ringmaster. He does nothing.
All right. I don't know. All I saw was Paul Jennings again
Yes.
commenting on the future of society.
I
mean, think about it. Engineering.
Yeah.
You could engineer your perfect partner through a model.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback onto this
Yeah.
because, interestingly, change of chores, okay?
Yeah.
Tony twists sculpture on modern femininity,
Yeah.
okay? It was old-time 1950s housewife
Yeah.
becomes modern but still held down by a responsibility towards the masculine, right?
Yeah.
One was chores, physical chores. The second was making themselves beautiful to attract men, right?
Yeah.
That's what he was saying with his sculpture. Now that has been taken over and turned into an always happy clown. I'm taking away from this like a Stepford Wives type
Yeah,
situation.
I got a Stepford Wives vibe as
Now
well.
this female clown is happy because she is in service of the male clown.
Well, yeah, but like, again, that's also another thing where it's like, is the emancipation of women to the point where men start to seek alternate, I guess...
Are you talking about like sex robots?
Yeah, sex robots in the future. There'll be sex robots. Of course they will be, right?
Yeah.
Right? And if like you've got a strong independent woman, you know, you might have this weird male fantasy. Some men might be like, oh, screw it, I'll just
Wait, are you
dump
which
this
Stepford
for another one.
Wives are you talking about? Are you talking about the
Both.
Because the old one was they became like brainwashed or something,
Yeah.
and the new one is they're all robots.
I'll go with the new one then, because the new one sort of works
I like the old one. I like the old one in terms of interpretation of this.
Yeah. I like the new one, because...
I think the new one is like more self-aware.
It is. It's very
It's like
self-aware.
makes fun of itself as a film. Like the old one kind of worked at the time because it was like countercultural, making this
What we
point that was happening.
should
Now
also
it's not
talk
relevant.
about isn't not he doesn't engineer his perfect girl or what he thinks is his perfect girl. He engineers his memories
Yeah.
of his lost love.
Yeah.
So that's actually maybe even scarier. It's like you could say you have a wife or a love.
Who
love
is
and
he doing
they
this to?
die. Right.
Who's he doing this to? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They die. Go on.
They die, right? And so you go and you get yourself your robot that has the characteristics of your previous wife, but she's not dead.
But this is even more insidious than that, though, because he's not. He's not creating a robot. This is something that already exists. So this change of chores, like an example of femininity being changed.
But the change of chores is not
it's
real.
not a well,
Neither
is
is-
it though? It's thematically real.
Yeah, but so is the scarecrow thematically real. He's just standing there.
What's the significance of the scarecrow? Is it a symbol of masculinity?
I guess so. Maybe it's like the earlier man who has to work and go into a steel mill for 12 hours a day doing some boring manual labor. He might as well just be standing
Has
in a
he-
field for 12 hours.
Has he then become perverted by the change
Perverted
of his
or
profession?
liberated?
sexually liberated.
No, not sexually liberated. Liberated, as in, like, the advance of information technology has allowed both men and women to emancipate themselves from their
I don't know
previous
where
roles.
you're getting this technology from. But the point
Why
of,
is it not technology? How can you fucking not see it? It's fucking...
It's no
They
technology.
fucking put clothes on a person, and they're fucking... They come to life.
Yeah,
How
but-
is that not a metaphor for robots? Mannequins coming to life. Alright. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, okay, but the man, right, the scarecrow was innocent. It was just a thing there. It was chained there. It was stuck there until he had the clothes of the clown. And then he was removed from his bonds and then able to chase and intimidate the female.
Just like the singularity.
What? This has got nothing to do with robots.
like the singularity.
Why are you obsessed with robots?
Before the singularity, because fucking robots are coming, they're gonna fucking take over, man.
You're
Fuck you.
derailing this.
I'm not derailing this. Okay, before the singularity, right, you were changed to your programming. After the singularity, you're supposed to be self-aware.
Who was self-aware? Are we talking about robots now, or are we talking about people?
Talking about robots now, I guess.
Okay, but where are you getting the robots from the episode?
I'm getting the robots because that's exactly what they are, man. They're like sex robots.
We get, like, if we got like a keyboard, or if we got a machine, if we got anything like that that was connected to, if say for example they put the clothes on a, I don't know, if they put the clothes on the microwave,
Well, I mean, I'm just
that
going
would be
with
like
I'm
the
just going with
singularity,
no, I'm going with the traditional definition of the word robot.
reaching.
Oh, forced work.
What's the traditional definition of a
Forced
robot?
work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the scarecrow do? Forced
Forced
work.
work.
He's staked in there.
Okay, I see now. I
Yeah.
see
What
where
about the
you're going
mannequin?
at.
Mannequin is used to display things.
Yeah.
Forced work.
Okay, I still think it's reaching, but I think you've made your point clear now.
Thank you.
Before, I had no idea what you were talking about. But yeah, so the scarecrow being forced to work, you could translate that to being a modern robot.
Yeah.
And then when the singularity comes, the emancipation through personality.
I was talking about actually like a deeper thing, which before that, I mean, we went on
What?
one of this thing about the robot,
Yes.
right? Which
Yeah.
was that I was just saying that the modern technology was before men had to go to work,
Yeah.
and their work was basically turn the spanner or so many hours a day,
Yep.
or go through the fields. That is literally what a robot does. He has no real thoughts,
Yep.
no real ambitions.
Yep.
With information technology, with the rise of automation, you have the freedom to take more higher intellectual pursuits.
Okay.
You're able to emancipate yourself. And maybe this is the idealistic freedom.
So-
you know, as we advance, we can stop being a scarecrow, stop being the mannequin, and be free like the crown.
Is the scarecrow, in your opinion, is the scarecrow a representative of A, robots, or B, people?
I don't even know now. Fucking both.
Because I think I think it's too much. I think this is more of a gender roles thing.
I'm going to go
than
with
an
people.
information
I'm going to go with
technology
people
thing.
then. It's going to
People?
be people. Yeah, people.
Yeah, I think this episode is more focused on gender roles, which is why we have the change of chores thing,
Yeah.
rather than a analogy for singularity, technological advancement.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with that.
Do you want to move on?
We better move on. Running out of time.
They want to know what's going to happen,
Yes.
and Tony knows. Tony
he does.
knows what's going to happen in the future. What are we going to do with these clowns? What are we going to do with them now? And the Gribbles are driving with the Texans
Yeah.
in the bush, and he gets out of the car and he shows them some bush, and he's like, you can buy this, you can buy any of this, most of this is unowned, which is a lie. I
Yeah.
think most of the usable bush is owned at this point, right?
Probably, yeah.
Most of
Well, it had a scarecrow in the field,
the
right?
desert stuff, nobody would want to own that. But yeah, there was a scarecrow in the field.
So
that they
it
were
clearly
showing.
was owned by somebody.
And the Texans, they get back into the car and drive away without Gribble. They're
'Cause
like, we're not
they-
having this.
They see because they
No
also
more
they saw the
scarecrows.
scarecrow like
Yeah.
nope.
The Twist family drive up, and they're like, Mr. Gribble, get in the back, we'll give you a lift. One of the scarecrows reaches out his hand, the scarecrow.
At this time, we've got to remember that the scarecrows have like been
Yeah, he's been losing his straw
Destrawed,
throughout
I guess.
the episode. And he reaches out his straw hand, and Gribble takes the straw hand, and it pulls off, and it just shows the normal hand, and he's like, oh, what? And then there's the people sitting in the back, the clown people, and we get our freaky around the twist music, and they're like, ah ha ha, and he's like, what's going on? And the twists just kind of laugh at him and drive away.
Yeah, what a bunch of assholes.
Yeah,
Right?
jerks.
They could have been like, get in the back, Mr. Gribble. They're not going to bite.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Gribble's supposed to go, no, I think I'll walk.
Yeah.
But no, he's just like,
They just like,
fuck you, mate.
Well, he is continually trying to sell their house.
Yeah, but like, still, why pull over? You could have just been
I
like,
don't know.
you could have just rolled into a puddle and pushed it on him or something.
The Twists take the clowns to an actual circus, okay, and now they have the chest with them, the clowns, and they don't disappear.
They don't.
I had to watch the end of the episode again.
You did.
To check that they didn't disappear. Most of the ghosts at the end of the episode, they leave our world and they go on to the next. Yeah. But what happened here? They're people now. They can be seen, as we saw with their gribbles, and they can impact the actual world. They're physical beings. And they have a chest filled with the costumes of their friends.
Yes.
Are they just going to go around possessing people or objects now? This is a terrifying future.
Yeah, it's really fucking scary. Like,
What do the other ones want? We know that the ringmaster is useless, so he's no threat. What if the juggler was nefarious? What if the fortune teller actually had nefarious ends? What if there were other costumes in there? What if there was a lion tamer?
Yeah, it's true.
What if there was another clown?
An evil clown.
And a more evil clown?
A super duper evil, like a twin clown.
What if there was another costume of the same evil clown?
Yeah, and then the woman clown had slept with the evil clown, and then the good clown was like, "What happened?" And then the woman was like, "Oh no, I'm so scared." And then she runs away, and then she dies, and then the good clown kills the evil clown because, I don't know, whatever. And then the good clown kills himself. Oh my god, he becomes like a bad guy because he like blows up the whole circus or something, like a murderous rampage.
Again, reaching,
but you never know, right? Fucking,
you never know.
Here's the thing that I want to talk about that is far more important.
Okay.
He then, at the end of the episode, they look back at the twist, he pulls up his hat, the clown pulls up his hat.
Yeah.
To show that he's got a guinea pig under his hat.
Yeah, what was the significance?
Where the fuck did he get the guinea pig from?
Well, we talked about this at the start.
No, we didn't. That was in the title scene, right? So that could be made from anywhere. It could come from anywhere. It doesn't matter. He came... Scarecrow became real. Then he... What? Did they stop at a pet store?
I don't know.
Or something?
Probably.
Or does he have like this magical...
Because the twist was surprised.
So then he clearly was under his hat the entire time. What's he been feeding him for the last... I don't know. Straw? What the fuck? Like, has he been shitting in his head?
Yes.
It's a weird thing to have under your head.
So he can create animals now as well.
He can.
Visions of a terrifying future.
It's very scary.
That's anything else you want to say about the episode?
No. It's pretty good.
Bowls of spaghetti. How many would you give it? This is our rating system that we use every week. It's usually on a scale from somewhere 10 to 12 usually. How many bowls of spaghetti out of 12 would you give it? 10? Do you want to go out of 10 or out of 12?
I'll go out of 12.
Either one. 12?
8 out of 12 bowls of spaghetti.
Okay.
And then no
what
sides.
No sides. Yeah, I'd give it probably 7 bowls of spaghetti, but maybe with like a salad and a garlic bread, like a high 7.
Yeah.
What have you had for lunch today?
I haven't had lunch yet. I'm hungry as fuck.
Okay.
So I'm gonna eat some
What
food.
are you going to eat for lunch?
No idea, because my car's broken down. So, I don't know, make some toast or some shit.
Yeah, maybe we can go to the bakery or something like that.
Let's go bakery.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. If you don't know, we'd like to talk about
local bakeries.
Lunch.
Support your local bakeries, guys.
Support them.
Yeah.
It's something that we like to do, and you should too.
Yeah.
And finally, if you've enjoyed the episode and want to hear more about us, or want to tell your friends about it, help relive the memories of your youth in listening to us ramble on about Round the Twist.
Guys, liking our Facebook stuff.
Yep.
Commenting, sharing. Commenting and sharing is really, really helpful for us. But what's even more helpful is subscribing to us on iTunes. And if you're there and you use it actively, leaving us a review, that would be freaking awesome. Even if it's just a 5-star review of these guys are great, except for that one guy. And then
which guy?
See, that's the thing. We'll be like, which one? Which one? Which guy?
Say that
we'll just go mental.
He's bad. I need my reputation to be high. You're married.
Yes.
You're not so worried about your reputation. I'm worried about my reputation.
That's fine.
Any single ladies out there, leave us some good reviews.
Yes, leave Joe some good reviews. You know? It'd be like 10 out of 10 would bang again. You know? So you can find us on Facebook. You know, we're at Tales from the Twist on Facebook. You know, like us on Facebook.
Yep.
And you'll find our other social media channels there. They're in the apps section. We're also on iTunes. Tales from the Twist. Subscribe to us.
YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. But we're in the apps section. I don't fucking know the names. I know it's Tales from the Twist, but I don't have the exact address. Just find it on the Facebook. It's all there.
Are we on the Instagram yet?
No, we're not on fucking Instagram.
Why not?
Fuck, what are you going to take a photo of?
I don't know.
Fucking your lunch? We want to take a catalogue of Anthony's lunch? Or...
Bowls of spaghetti.
Bowls of spaghetti. Actually, that'd be cool, because we could be the only spaghetti photographers.
Bromwhiches.
Bromwhiches, yeah. No, I'm not doing it, son.
What? You're
Not
doing
making a fucking
Bromwhich.
Instagram for bloody Facebook. No.
what? One day.
One
day.
of these days, maybe, eventually never.
I believe that's all we have time for today.
Well, we've gone way over time, but yes.
They love it.
They love it. They love it. They do.
They don't.
I don't know. They do. Tell us if you do or don't.
Yeah, tell us.
Whatever.
If you're listening and you make it to the end of one of these episodes, leave us a comment and say if you think it's too long or if it's too short.
Give us some advice.
Give
Give us your
advice so
opinion.
we can-
We're
here for you.
We are here. We make this so that you guys can be listening to it while you're doing, God knows what. I don't know, probably work or something. Enjoying,
On the train.
hearing our chocolate voices in your ear.
I don't know
helping
if
you
they're
through.
chocolatey.
Yeah, like chocolate. They're
More like bitter.
Bitter. Like
Bittery.
we're bittery and sour, kind of like,
A Bromwich.
Bromwich. Yeah, we're bittery and sour like a Bromwich. Tastes good though, So anyway, leave us some comments. Let us know. We love hearing stuff from our fans.
Yeah, let us know what your ideal length of the episode is or how you're feeling about the content. Anything like that helps.
Yeah, anything. Just tell us anything you want. You can tell us how your day was, but don't expect
Yeah, and
us
you can
to
do that
reply
on Facebook or on our WordPress site.
Yeah,
which
you can send us
find
a
through our
email.
Facebook.
Yes, you can find everything on Facebook.
Do you know our email address?
It's like talesfromthetwists@gmail.com.
Yep, and you can email us there and we'll get back to you through that.
We will.
And thank you for listening. That's all we have time for today. My name is Joe Lewis.
And I'm Anthony Bull.
Stay twisty.
Whoa!